Thank you once again for joining us on Africa Independent Television, AIT. Welcome to Democracy Today. I am Ijoma Osamo. The road to 2023 general elections will no doubt be full of intrigues, horse trading, defections from one political party to another, and also political attacks on persons, verbal attacks, and political maneuvering. And remember that we promised to bring you detailed information across board with no hold barred as events breaks ahead of the elections. And on Tuesday, we took a report on how the media aide to the Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, denied that the VP visited President Muhammadu Buhari over his ambition for 2023 presidency. Laolu Akande actually but with a caveat in his word, actually denied it, but with a caveat in his words when he said, and I quote, "More of this will come." And less than 24 hours after the denial, our chief political researcher and correspondent, Adebayo Bodurin, saw a gigantic billboard of the vice president with Yemi Osinbajo for 2023 president inscription. Let's see what is happening on the streets with Adebayo Bodurin. Stay with us.
The year 2022 is here. This year is significant in Nigeria. It is the eve of the 2023 general elections. And more than anything else, politics is thick in the air in the Nigerian capital, Abuja. On New Year Day, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo paid a New Year courtesy call on his principal, President Muhammadu Buhari. Shortly after leaving the presidential lodge, the several social media platforms were awash with reports that the Vice President had formally informed his principal, the President, that he will be interested in seeking for the 2023 presidential election. But a few hours later, his media aides promptly denied the report. 48 hours later, particularly in the central business district of Abuja, huge billboards and banners now dotted the landscape, proclaiming the entry of the vice president into the presidential race. At this particular spot, very close to the audit house, that is the office of the Auditor General of the Federation, and under a bridge are two specific huge billboards. One is proclaiming Osinbajo's entry into the presidential race. They call it the Progressive Project 2023. The second one is asking Nigerians to join hands and join the APC in projecting a better future for Nigeria. Perhaps this one will also be denied. Perhaps it is a confirmation that the Vice President will surely throw his heart into the ring. In the next few days ahead, it is safe to presume that just in other parts of the country and in Abuja, huge billboards, huge banners will definitely be erected, proclaiming those who will be on the sweepstakes for the single presidential ticket of either the APC or the PDP. We are watching, and we keep you posted on this program, Democracy Today.
That's okay. Well, that's how we will be talking more on the 2023 presidential race. We'll be looking at issues that we'll get on a daily basis, events, and even talks. Whatever comes our way, as long as it is newsworthy, we'll be bringing it to you towards the 2023 election. And on the program tonight, our focus will be on the situation in Imo State as it concerns insecurity. We had in the last 20 days, we have been monitoring events and development from that state. And it seems that the thin line of misunderstanding between the former governor of the state and the now senator representing Imo West, talking about Ruta Sukurucha, and the incumbent governor Hope Uzodimma, is getting wider as evidence on who is responsible for the insecurity in the state being leaked on a daily basis. And coming from the angle of the government, today you hear this person involved, and tomorrow you hear that. All sorts of information that we get. Though the police said they are still investigating and they are trying to find out those directly linked to the issue of insecurity in the state. And even with the arrest of the son-in-law to the former governor, which is at this time brought up the issue again. And it seems the state governor has information on that. When he spoke at the stakeholders meeting on Tuesday, he kept praising what he has done, his infrastructure and all that. And at the end of the day, he said Imo State will never be run down. So let's quickly listen to him.
This regular interface with stakeholders, which I introduced since I assumed office as the governor of Imo State, is informed by my strong desire to connect with the people in the course of governance. The daunting challenges we met on ground cannot deter us. I believe that we have made appreciable progress in arresting the rot we met on ground. This required courage, sacrificial patience, and wisdom.
Our focus today is on Imo State. You remember that we had it all through last week, talking to the various stakeholders and interest group on the issue. And tonight, we'll be looking at matters arising from the stakeholders meeting. Joining me in the studio is a political analyst, Chika Nwozuzu. Thank you very much for being a part of the program.
Thanks for having me, John.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
And we're still waiting to link up with the State Commissioner for Information. He'll be joining us via Zoom from Owerri. If we get connection to him, we'll just join. Otherwise, we may be taking him via telephone if we are not able to connect to him at this moment. We'll be joining Declan Emelumba in a short, that's the Commissioner for Information, I think so. Yes, in a short while we'll be joining him. Recall that we reported herders suspected to be Fulani headsmen in army uniform reportedly invaded 2nd Abumire Ojigbelu camp in Ovia Northeast local government area of Edo State, forcing inhabitants to flee for safety to neighboring communities. The latest is that leadership of the community are given a separate report. They say the community was not sacked by any headsmen. But something will surprise you. When we come, we'll look at some of the statements made by those who said they were sacked and they had to move to the IDPs. So let's see this one as updates.
As we don't come out, they say Fulani. What? As people call it run, cause they run. They say our plantain for the cow, yam na for cow, cassava for cow.
One of our top person go nag bed, bo. Hey, as he nag bed now, that one just cooking going crack. As you just want shoot now, my brother tell us I beg make a no shoot. Now one man will lead the corner. He can't say make that one count down. And the counter say they not come to keep person who say their cow, more no touch them. He say plantain na for cow. Gary na for cow. Yam na for cow. Now we come to say what you want to chop now?
I don't know where they got the news they are carrying. I'm not saying they are saying to talk a lie. I was told that they burn everything in the community. They kill some people. They rape some people. I'm surprised to hear that a community went me beyond your way. That is why I come to you, government. Not that they are not threatening us here. What they did is what I'm telling you people. Well, it is what I'm saying. I didn't see any house be burned. I don't see it with my naked eye. If I see it, I'm not afraid for anybody. I go say they burn am, but I'm not seeing it. Any of you that know, listen. Any of you that know that they burn house, they rape a woman, they do other things, can you be able to take the security down to the place and show them?
It has become necessary for the police, after receiving the report on some print media and some online media, that Fulani herdsmen have sacked all the people in Oberen second community of Obia Northeast local government. In order to douse the tension of the story that's making round on the social media, it has become necessary for the Commissioner of Police, CP Philip of Badu, to direct, in collaboration with the state government, to ensure that the tension has not created more panic among the people. Also to inquire from the residents of the community. Yes, it has been said by the community members, Fulani herdsmen have come here to instruct them to stop ringing their security bell in the night, according to the reports that they used to disturb their cows. So, which the community is not agreeing to it. They also inquire from the community if they have gone, as the sound of Vanguard knockout that had been used during the Yellow Ties period maybe created the tension among the Fulani, thinking that it is gone. So that also has been confirmed to them by the community, the Odonwore and some elders of the community, that they are not shooting gun, they are shooting a knockout to celebrate the Yellow Tide period that just passed. They said, they further mentioned that the community, nothing has been born in the community, no life has been lost in the community, as against the report on online and on some print media, and that there is no any shooting of persons. Please, the community is calm for now. No threat again from the Fulani herdsmen. And with our coming, if there is any intent to cause any threat here, with this delegation from the state government and then through the Commissioner of Police, I think that will now be put to rest.
The updates from Edo State, you just saw it there. There's the state, I think either that is the state spokesperson, police spokesman, I don't know. But what I can pick from what he has said is that the information or the reports that most media houses carried may have created panic. But did you listen to these people, what they said? That they came to them and they told them plantain is for cow, cassava is for cow, gari is for cow. Or the only thing they can allow them to touch is cocoa. So that means those that are farming plantain, cassava, gari, they should just leave their farm for the cows. Is that what they're saying? I think we still need to listen to them again later to let us understand what is actually going on. And the police officer who spoke also made a statement. He said they said plantain for cow, yam for cow, gari for cow. And what they are trying to do is to stop any intent to create panic. But you didn't ask these people who went to these farmers to ask them, plantain is for cow, yam is for cow, gari is for cow, so we can leave cocoa for you. What is that? I don't know. Well, I don't want to say anything here, but I believe that the security officers are keeping tab with what is going on in Edo State, and a state where they have a chief security officer. You know what will happen? But some person will say you don't blame the governor because it does not have the powers to order the security apparatus to these places, because they only listen to the federal government. I think it is better for peace to reign. We are happy that he said the place is calm, the city is calm, no gunshot, nothing. But for someone to come and tell the local security vigilantes that they should stop ringing their bells because it is disturbing their cows, though you can imagine what that kind of statement means. I still feel the state governor should visit that community. Visit the community, see for yourself what is going on. Try to make peace with the headers and the community people. Let them understand each other, and then peace will stand. There will not be any panic. But let's quickly we'll still be looking at that issue. I tell you, we will go there one of these days. But let's make our conversation today. As I said before, we have joining us via Zoom the Commissioner for Information for Imo State, Declan Emelumba. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate you. Thank you. Happy New Year.
Same to you.
Yes. Thank you. Mr. Declan, welcome to the show again.
Thank you very much for having me.
I'll come to you, but let's quickly let our viewers know that you can send your reactions via WhatsApp on 081 683 99438. 081 683 99438. No call, please. Just your messages. You can send your reaction via WhatsApp to that number. We still have Chika Nwozuzo with us in the studio. Thank you again for staying.
Thanks, Ijoma.
Now let's start from the commissioner, because we need to have a better understanding of what has happened during the stakeholders meeting. Thank you very much, Mr. Emelumba, for your time again. Can you just let us into what happened at the stakeholders meeting? Because there was a statement issued and we took a part of it on this program yesterday, naming some people to be responsible for this breach of security in Imo State. So what happened at the stakeholders meeting, and what was the purpose for that stakeholders meeting?
Well, thank you very much again for having me. I don't know whether you are saying or implying that there was a statement issued deriving from the stakeholders meeting, naming some people as being behind the security breaches in the state. Is that what you are saying? We
took a statement yesterday. We took a statement yesterday. It wasn't from the stakeholders meeting, but some persons we spoke with before the stakeholders meeting informed us that the governor said he has a list of those he will name, and they will do that after meeting with the stakeholders. So we're expecting that after the stakeholders meeting, what has happened?
Yeah, he said somebody told you that the government...
Yes, it was on the program that people we spoke with. Yes, people we spoke with on this program.
At the stakeholders meeting, the governor took time to detail his achievements, his address, which was very detailed, outlined sector by sector all the achievements he had recorded close to 2 years in office. And, it provided graphic details of everything. And at the end of the day, the stakeholders were very, very happy with him and applauded him. On the question of naming those who are behind the contriving security in the state, the governor said that because of the fact that the security agencies were still investigating the matter and that he didn't want to preempt the investigation, it will not be auspicious for him to name anybody. Otherwise, it will be like the person has already been found guilty or condemned. Therefore, that he preferred to allow the security agencies to conclude their investigation and do the needful, which is arraign suspects indicted in court, and then the case will proceed from there. So that was what happened at the stakeholders meeting yesterday.
But we took one of the statements in our news item where it was said that the governor's aide fingered the former governor and his son-in-law. But we're also hearing today that they are denied it. So what's the truth in that information?
Which statement? If you took it on your news, who issued the statement? Who issued the statement? On behalf of the government, who did? I speak for the government. I didn't issue any such statement. So who issued the statement? Hello?
I can hear you.
Hello?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I said who issued the statement?
Well, the statement was in one of the news, one of the items that. Yes, the statement was in one of the news items. The statement was in one of the news items where they said that the Imo State government, the aides to the Imo State governor, had listed the names of people loyal to the former governor.
What is the name of the aide? What is the name and his position?
If you say you didn't issue it, if it's not coming from you, we will know that that is the position of the government. If it's not coming from you, we will know it is the position. Mr. Declan.
Yes, I can hear you now.
I am asking you a question. Where is the statement coming from? So you are throwing the question back at me. Where is the statement coming from? Because I saw it too.
Because there is no statement of that nature that was issued from my office. And they're saying there was a statement. So I want to know where you, since you said there was a statement and you used the story on your network, so who did you ascribe the statement to?
It was the aide to the governor that issued the statement. So if you're denying the statement now,
what is
yes.
Don't
worry, I'll give you details of that. I'll give you details of that, but we want to know where is that statement coming from. Before the end of the program, I'll give you details of the person who issued the statement. Then, but we need you to tell us, since you say it's not coming from the government, then that's to say that whatever happened yesterday or the statement that a lot of people saw and we saw was not from Imo State government. Is that what you're saying?
I don't understand. What happened where? Yesterday at the stakeholders meeting or where?
It wasn't at the stakeholders meeting. It was a statement. It was a statement, Mr. Declan. Mr. Declan, can you?
The network is really giving issues there.
Okay, you can't hear what I'm saying. Can you just? Okay, let's leave that for now. When we come back to you, we will get to ask you the question, and you will get the name of the person who issued the statement. No problem. We'll come back to you, Mr. Declan. Let's come to the studio. You just listen to him. That they're still investigating the issue of those involved in the matter of insecurity in Imo State.
Well, Ijoma, first of all, thanks and Happy New Year. It's really unfortunate, very unfortunate, because the impression, Declan is saying that a statement was not issued, but it was in the media.
It was there.
Issued by Ogwike Nwachukwu, who is the chief press secretary to the governor of Imo State, except where it was more or less, if they are now, he is now saying naturally, he's actually the spokesperson of the government. But if he's saying, and I read that statement, and he said, because of the confession of some people, some ex-militants that were arrested, their confessional statements, that the former governor, whether Rochas Okorocha and Chief Uche, whatever, he mentioned those things. I don't know, because of this incoherence in governance, I think we're going to be having this kind of deniers. But that's not what we had today, Joma. I think it's really unfortunate because before then, Declan has also issued a statement where he had said, that was on Sunday, where he had informed Imo citizens that we're going to have the governor is going to make a revelation because in his words that they have evidence of those responsible or financing the carnage in the state. That was his statement. People had expected that they were going to, name names, but at the end of the day, the governor said he was waiting for the security agencies, yeah. which would have been. I'm from Imo State, and I think all these things are uncalled for goodness sake. You have talked about the arrest, you've talked about some of the things. If we are going to base now castigation of individuals or personalities from some people you actually arrest, or some people who make confessional statements. If we begin to interrogate some of these things, I had watched one of those young men who they had, you see, I never saw any apprehension of somebody who is under arrest. They just brought someone putting a sweater by his neck and mentioning names. And besides, at what point in this country, when has interrogation of criminals become a social media affair? You don't make that open. It's not a popularity contest where because you have actually gotten someone and then under whatever pretense, the young man, either he's in a hotel or anywhere, because if you look at the surrounding of where he was being, it was not the police, but that's not what we are talking about. We're looking at a situation where we were informed that we're going to have names so that at the end of the day, let's begin to now start throw stones at those people that they were going to mention them. But if you look at the hall was jam-packed yesterday. I can tell you, maybe I might have my opinion, I may not have my facts, but I know quite well that a lot of people who were there yesterday were looking forward to names being read.
Exactly, because that was what we
it wasn't that the governor was going to give us his scorecard. He can easily do it on national television, and everyone was interested. And that was the 6th stakeholders forum, which now the governor is saying. What has happened in the past week, Ijoma hasn't been so nice. I do not think that the state, Imo State, is a very peaceful state. And let me also, I also want to inform the government that the fact that a lot of people came home, everyone, a lot of people, so many people had bought their ticket before arriving. So it's not because anywhere we have that in our mind that we must go home. Whether you are kidnapping anybody, we must go home. But let's get to the fact. What it really has brought Imo State out in recent time was the unfortunate arrest of the son-in-law, which you mentioned, to the Uche Nwosu.
Yes.
It was actually what actually brought Imo State. It was quite unfortunate. I'm not a member of APC. I don't know Richards by anyway. Maybe, probably he hears my name. He was my governor. But I've never met him one-on-one. I don't know Uche Nwosu. But Ijoma, it was quite unfortunate.
That's
very unfortunate.
that
you wanted to arrest someone, and this young man has been saying, he has appeared on your sister TV stations.
He was on our show.
On your show. Too, he has said he was never for once given any arrest notification or whatever. But look at it. Someone whose mother died. He finished burying the mom on the 22nd of December. On the 26th, he went for his outing service, to thank God for that. And what happened? No one will appreciate it. This thing will never happen, even in the remotest village in the north, where you go into a mosque and you pick a man. Let's forget that this young man actually was the son-in-law, or he is a son-in-law, sorry, to the former governor of Imo State. He was also a former gubernatorial candidate of a political party who actually came third, if not second. I think second, sorry. He came second.
Yeah.
After Emeka Ihedioha. Then Senator Ararume came third, and then the present governor was fourth. And I think that respect should have been accorded to him, for goodness sake. And then he went to a church, an Anglican church, St. Peter's. I have never seen such an action.
Mr. Wozuzu, are you aware that they have denied this?
That they went to the church?
Not them, not Uche Nwosu, but they are, even people have been saying that it was not in the church. That it was after the church service. That
it wasn't after the church service. Let me tell you, the venerable at that church is Venerable Asiole. It's a diocese of Olo. Let people stop. I mean, let's not be doing this thing. As a matter of fact, maybe they've not been saying it. The person that Mrs. Jemima Nwosu was actually the outside being Uche Nwosu's mother. The husband held a key position in the diocese before his death. So the joy of actually burying, the wife of, someone who had worked in the church, who had contributed to the church. Whatever that happened, the government cannot say, are they saying they never entered the church? Or are they saying it was outside the church? Whatever that is, in the church premises. Okay. The people, those clergy men would not be telling lies. The parishioners would not be telling lies. I mean, for goodness sake, why didn't you wait? Do you have any warrant of arrest or whatever you have? Whatever, why didn't you wait? Can't you invite this young man and then save the state? The situation of the state at this point in time hasn't been so okay. So I was so upset. Let me be honest. And most people will say me, I've never spoken this way. It wasn't the right thing to do.
Are you blaming the governor of Imo State now for the job carried out by police officers?
No. The police, for goodness sake, I'm not in a position. You see, like I mentioned, security issues are not issues you jump into. This is also what I expect the government on some of these issues that I've seen on television. You wait until the police had finished. I would have expected that the police, but you see why people were worried. If you notice the modus operandi of some of these things happening in the state, where even it was reported in one of those states where people were in military uniform.
Okay, military uniform.
Yes, of recent.
That's the
herdsmen. They were military uniform. How would you expect if you were coming, you had someone was in church, was taken from the church
in uniform,
police uniform, and you were shooting?
But according to Uche Nwosu, he said they were not in police uniform. They were in black and black hood.
No, that hood, was what more or less, that hood is more, if you say synonymous or whatever, is known to be. But I mean, if it were the police, whatever uniform they were in there, I mean, for goodness sake, if he had some mental health problems, the guy probably would have died because he would have actually thought maybe those guys were kidnappers because it's rampant in the area. But we are not looking at who is right, who is not. We are looking at, we should have allowed this people. If you had wanted to arrest Uche, there are ways and reasons and methods.
But Uche was arrested by the police because the police issued a statement.
By the police, Ijoma, what we are saying is that, was that the best way to arrest him? The way was that the best way? Is that how they do it in their APC? Was that the best way? You should have allowed some of these things to be. For us to actually have peace in our state, for goodness sake, the actors at this point in time, you must have respect is reciprocal. I don't think the way the young man was actually arrested, whether anybody, like I said, I don't speak for him and I will never speak for him, but at this point in time, we must condemn what is bad. And then we were expecting yesterday, when Declan is now the Commissioner for Information, when the statement was issued, if you know you were going to wait for security agencies to finish their job, why rush to make that and to issue a statement, which he reiterated on a Sunday, that thing was supposed to hold on Monday, which was 3rd. He said, no, it's been shifted. They have evidence.
All right.
Evidence. They are in possession. The language, we are in possession of evidence. So if you are in possession, how come you didn't know that you don't even have the power to do such things?
Maybe he was advised. That's why he didn't bring it up on the stakeholders meeting.
So he should ask Oguike Nwachukwu.
Let me go back to him. Yes. Let's go back to Mr. Emelumba. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. You just heard from Chika Nwozuzu, and I've been able to pick the report that we took yesterday. Because I'm human, I can't be carrying everything in my head, but I knew that report was taken in one of our news items. And it was the chief, I think the special media advisor to the governor of the state, Oguwike Nwachukwu, that issued that statement. They fingered Rocha Sokorocha as well as his son-in-law in what is going on in Imo State. So what do you have to say about that? You being the Commissioner of Information.
That's why I wanted you to name whoever issued the statement, because I read the statement.
Yes.
And that statement never, even Ogbike didn't claim that was the position of the government. He said that video evidence, audio-video evidence, that some people in the video indicted some people. He didn't say government has indicted this or that government has named these people. That's two different things. That's why I say I speak for the government. If government's position is that these people have been indicted, it would have been issued by me. Ogbike was reacting to allegations by Okorocha and so on, and referred to a video he watched. That's a different thing.
But
that does not make
sorry,
it the
Mr. Commissioner.
And he never stated there that was the position of government. The media over-interpreted it. He never. And I want you to read it. If you read it, it was like he was expressing his opinion about the video he watched. So, because he's the chief press secretary to the government, to the governor and media advisor, his opinion does not amount to the position of government. Please, I want you to read it. I read it line by line.
Mr. Emelumba,
and that is the
Mr. Emelumba, I want to take you. Sorry, Mr. Commissioner, I want to take you up on that point you made. You made a point that his position cannot be the position of the government. But this is somebody who owes a very important office in the government. He is the advisor to media advisor to the governor of the state. And whatever he writes, it is believed that it is the governor speaking. So probably there is no coherence in dishing out information, or somebody didn't tell him that he should be careful because of the position that he holds. A media advisor, whatever he writes and give out to the public, it is directly, not indirectly. It is directly said that is coming from the governor. So I think, sorry, I wouldn't be advising you, but I think if you say he wasn't speaking for the governor, you are the spokesperson for the government. You are the spokesperson for the government. He speaks for the governor. If the media advisor to the governor has come out with a press statement and he allowed that statement to go to the media, and the media is saying the governor said, you should know what happens. So it's better.
No.
Okay.
No, it's wrong. It's wrong for the media to say the governor said that. No, because they did the statement. The man didn't say the governor said that. He didn't even say he was authorized by the governor to say that. He said he watched some video and people indicted these people in that video. He never said that is the position
In what
of
capacity
government.
is he issuing
never
the
said that.
statement? In
So
what capacity? In
so
what?
anybody
Sorry, Mr.
ascribing that
Declan.
to,
Mr. Declan.
to
In
the
what
government, the
capacity
person is of
should a media advisor to a governor issue a statement without the governor's consent?
position of government. Why were people still expecting the governor to name the people? In other words, it should have been that, oh, governor had already named the true Ogwike Nwachukwu. So if that was the conclusion, so why would anybody be expecting him to see name? Because that means he has already done that. That thing is Ogwike Nwachukwu's personal relation of what he watched in the video, and he used it to reply to what Okorocha was saying.
So and he issued a statement.
That was the official position of government because he knows that that was not the
Mr. Declan, he issued a statement. He issued a statement. Mr. Declan, in my experience as a political reporter in Nigeria for over 2 decades, I can tell you categorically when as a media advisor to either the governor or the president issues a statement, it is believed that that is coming from the governor. So he can make a statement on the, by not issuing a statement.
In reality is another thing. If you decide to believe that any statement that comes from media advisor to the governor is the position of government, it's a matter of choice. But like I said, when you're talking about position of government, there is a source that speaks for the government. So if the chief press secretary to the governor issued a statement and interpreted what he saw, and he decides on your own, when he didn't say so, that is the position of government, you are entitled to it. But that doesn't make it correct.
Mr. Declan, I don't want us to argue.
I'm a journalist myself.
Yes, I don't want us to argue. I thank God that you're a journalist, Mr. Declan. I am so happy you're a journalist, and I'm also a journalist too. But in this whole matter now, you are the spokesman of the government. He is the spokesman to the governor. So if he issued a statement, in what capacity is he issuing the statement? He is under the governor and he speaks for governor. So you are the spokesman of the government. You speak for the government. I don't know whether you understand the in between the two lines. I think well, after this program we'll talk. Let's not tie up this whole thing.
Ijoma, initially the Honorable Commissioner, as they are being addressed, I'm good at saying the Commissioner. The Commissioner said he wasn't aware of the statement, but now he said, oh, I reread the statement. Now, let's not try to play politics with statements. The young man that I mentioned, because when I read things, I take note. Even some of the statements that he has actually issued, I read them. And I've read, and I will continue to read. When he issued that statement, check the title after his name. It wasn't a personal analysis, or he was trying to analyze what happened. And besides,
the title was
as
even
a chief press secretary,
to the
how many of this information have we always got from Garba Shehu?
Okay.
Femi Adesina. We have not even heard so much from Lai Mohammed. Majority, 80–90% of information we received from the presidency had always come from Garba Shehu or Femi Adesina. And you're not telling me that Ogwike Nwachukwu, whom he had earlier said or denied that he never saw the statement, was trying to say that since it never came from him. You see, I'm not here to look at the merits of who said and who never said. The issue, why there was a bit of confusion on the part of what they had told us they were going to do yesterday was because of the names that had been mentioned. You can't judge whether it's the police or SSS or anybody. You cannot presume someone guilty based on, and if you also read that statement, he said those people are guilty. Even if you also if we now take the Honorable Commissioner, immediately on the 26th or 27th, there was a press conference. There was an interview on channels where he said that the former governor was in a panicky and frenzy situation, more or less meaning that he was afraid of what has happened. Someone whose son-in-law had been kidnapped or arrested, has been arrested. You expect him to be in a relaxed mood and not express fear, and whatever name he called him, that he was hallucinating and all those kind of things. Those things, the problem we have is that we rush into making statements. And this is one of the things government officials should be very careful in doing. You don't just, because something has happened and you are speaking, you want to show your loyalty, you want to be regarded as someone who is so loyal to your boss, you want to make statement, and now you put yourself into a very serious confusion. And then the issue is this, the summary, Joma, is that yesterday, Imo people, Nigerians, I know a lot of my friends who were actually waiting. Everyone was glued to the television. And let me also tell you, the governor's speech was for about 96 minutes. He started at 13:59 and he stopped at 15:33 hours. Let me also help Mr. Declan when he's preparing his report. It was for 96 minutes. And several of those comments were okay. For me, as a person, one of the things I had initially, when the first time the government made
it. So that means the governor's project that he actually railed out.
Of course, these are projects. The basic thing, one of the things every Imo person was actually, not because they wanted to hear the government project. We've been hearing governor talk about his project. They wanted to know those disturbing
I
look forward to a situation where they would have given me a situation report on the Owerri or Kigwe Road or Owerri or Low Road, because I remember in November 2020, we were told that that was going to Kremborg was going to finish that in 18 months. So 18 months plus or minus, we're looking at May, June. So I would have seen an update, you know, not a question of, oh, the executive chamber was not done by the... We don't need that. Let me also say it, Ijoma. At the initial stage, when the vice president went to commission the MSME clinic, the governor made a statement that Mr. Vice, and he was there on national television, that the vice president should more or less ignore the politically induced insecurity in the state by the opposition party.
All right.
The leader of the opposition in Imo State, the opposition party in Imo State, is a Meki Hediohan. You would not expect a Meki Hediohan to be involved in any of these things. You don't expect him. I also do not think that the former governor, Rochas Okorocha, is involved in any of these things. Let the law take its course. I think
just like you said,
let the investigation be. But let us not just begin to throw, so is this person, is that person, then you have aides who are just playing games.
Mr. Chika, we'll come back to you. We need to take a breaking news now. We have a breaking news which says that the federal government has released the official gazette on prescription of banditry in Nigeria. This is to consolidate the prescription of bandits groups as terrorists by the Abuja High Court in November 2021. We'll be giving you details of that shortly, but let's quickly let you know that you can be part of this. We'll take your messages. All you need to do is to send us a message on WhatsApp via this number, 081-683-99438, 081-683-99438. Let me just take some of the messages before we go to Mr. Declan. We need to look at the success story of the Imo State Governor before we end the program. And this one is coming from Theophilus from Warri. It says, the Commissioner for Information in Imo State should stop the denial. The information is in public domain. And Imo State government should face governance and stop allowing people create security tension in the states. And this one is coming from Ezekiel. Ezekiel said, good evening, Ijoma. My name is Ezekiel from Abuja. Truth is, I am fed up with the many issues in this country. Fulani farmers in Edo State, anyway, they are herdsmen, people in uniform, believed to, that's how the reports came, clearly attacked these farmers in Edo State. I watched the videos, saw pictures, only for the security agents to come on live TV to say it wasn't true. Imagine using knockout as an excuse. With the way our politicians are denying things, today they said, tomorrow they didn't say. I will soon deny I am from this country. God help us. God bless Nigeria. And this one says, from Abak is also from Abakaleke, Ebonyi State. Ijoma are tired for our politician who, why the commissioner they deny waiting we hear, that's speaking pidgin. Waiting we hear koro koro, that's what he said. Then he now said this from Zion. He said, please, Zion is sending a message from Port Harcourt. He said, please, we are not fools. Why is the man dancing words? Well, those are their comments. But let's quickly go to Mr. Declan. Mr. Declan, are you still there with us?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Thank you. I saw some of the success stories of this governor in Imo State. I would like you to just tell us one or two and also tell us what you think the Imo people should expect from your government in 2022, especially in security.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't know the man I'm hearing who I think is in this discussion with us. I think you mentioned Chika. I heard him saying that he expected that the stakeholders meeting, the governor should have mentioned about the Okigwe Road and Owerri Okigwe Road, and I mean Owerri Road, which is being handled by Kremborg. That they told him that it was going to be completed in 18 months, and to say the progress report. I'm not sure he watched that program. It was live on your channel. It was live on Channels Television, and it was live on NTA. The governor said, particularly on that road, that it will be completed and commissioned in April. So if he was listening, he gave progress report, and he gave details of so many other road projects. I don't really know what he's talking about, but maybe I want to believe that he didn't quite listen. And then talking about what to expect in 2022, that's exactly, the governor mentioned that in addition to 32 roads that have been commissioned, 50 more are under construction, and many of them will be completed in 2022. And he gave a document to the stakeholders, said, go home with this document, because the roads I've mentioned, if they're near to your local government or your ward or your village, please cross-check by the end of this year. If they are not done, come back to me and say, this road, he said that he would do it, he didn't do it. That is accountability. So, and he told people that they would expect that this year, at the end of this year, Imo State would have taken a leap forward in terms of infrastructural development. So he said all that. And I want to make something clear because I also heard when he was talking about that I said somebody was talking in panic, somebody whose son-in-law was arrested, or posted, kidnapped, abducted. I didn't know what I expected him. The issue I tried to clarify, that time, they were talking of that the man was abducted. They didn't know what happened. And I said the police had come out with a statement and said, we arrested him. Therefore, there's no doubt, there's no question, there's no confusion about where he was. Police said we arrested him, he's in our custody. We came out to condemn an arrest in the church. That we never supported that. The government was not behind the arrest, going to the church to arrest him. We condemned that. So, but the fact was that there were a lot of confusion at that point. You know, they're trying to give the impression, even as we speak, they still call it abduction. Police said we arrested him. The method is a different thing. Whether the method was right or not, nobody was in doubt what was behind the action. It was an arrest. And at least people should have acknowledged that it was an arrest instead of calling it an abduction. You can condemn the process, you can condemn the method, but there was no doubt about what happened. So that was part of the point that we're trying to make at that point. And then I think it's important because we are talking about the security situation here. And I think it's important to also say that it's only the guilty that is afraid, you know, and that's what the point we have been making all along. So I didn't understand, since that thing happened, former Governor Okrocha has addressed press conference 5 times, you know, saying one thing today, tomorrow saying another thing, and so on and so forth. And if what the governor did yesterday at the stakeholders conference was not accepted by the people, they would have told him. Because at the end of the day, he had a standing ovation for the wisdom in deciding to allow the security agencies to complete their investigation instead of coming there to name anybody or saying this or that. So I want us to appreciate this. It's not like you were saying, my friend there was saying, trying to rush to prove loyalty. That's not the issue. The issue is to clarify the issue so that people will understand what is the correct position at any given point. When the position is not clear, it is a duty, particularly when the government is being fingered, it's a duty for us to make it clear that we are not responsible for the arrest. We are not security agencies, and that this was what happened. We have been told that an arrest has been made, and that it's not an abduction. Government was being accused of abducting Ushemosu. And I mean, nobody would expect us to put our hands and not clear the thing. So I think generally, I want people to appreciate the fact that this government has been open, transparent, and accountable to people. That was what informed yesterday's stakeholders meeting. And at the end of the day, the stakeholders comprising the cream of Imo leadership. I think that is what is very instructive. The chairman of that occasion was Leo Stanleke. He's a businessman, he's not a politician. And he applauded the government. Many of them came and saw that. Many of them who came through Abuja and Lagos, when they got into Imo State, they saw that the state was being.
All right, thank you very much. We appreciate your time. I would like to say thank you, Mr. Emelumba, for being a part of the program. You're always our friend on this program, so we still need to talk to you again towards election. This year is going to be a very, very tight year. But let's quickly come to just a few seconds.
Well, in a few seconds, I mean, let me also remind Mr. Declan Emelumba that after the Ebu declaration, where people from our zone had met, and Honorable Making Hedon had indicated his interest in contesting for the governor, a group of people had their meeting. His statement then was, if I also may remind him, that he said, and I quote him, that Ihedioha government would have made Rochas a saint if not for the Supreme Court judgment. So he had even regarded Rochas as a saint. He had also looked at the same Ihedioha that, you see, the problem is this. I want a situation where the governor realizes, does what sometimes the president actually, what he does. Is there anything wrong in getting the stakeholders together? I don't mean it's not a media stuff. Why don't you get the governors? Are you saying that Rochas Okorocha, who was governor for 8 years, never had people he has? Let me tell you, Ijoma, in summary,
right.
The governors in Imo State, Rochas Okorocha is a grassroots mobilizer. In Imo State, Emeki Hedioha is a political strategist. Also in Imo State, Hope Uzodinma has a heart of giving. Why can't they combine these qualities that they have to make the state and stop this? Some of these their aides causing problem. We've had enough. And finally, the traditional rulers should stop being campaign managers. They should be father of all, and not just a situation where you're even asking the governor to contest for the second term. Thank you very much.
We appreciate your time on the program. And quickly, in the next 10 seconds. Good evening, Joma. I am disappointed with what is happening in Imo, coming from Uche. And good evening, Joma. I think the commissioner is hiding the truth. The truth, that's what he's saying. I think the commissioner is hiding the truth. Tony from Oka. And security agents should stop politicizing issues. They should stop playing people's lives, playing with people's life. I think that's what you want to say. Cow is not more important than human beings. Well, you didn't tell us your name. And this one from Sonny, from Enugu, Prince Sonny. It's not a must to raise your cow in another person's land by force. That is coming from Prince Sonny from Enugu. Well, that's the much we can take on the program tonight. Remember, tomorrow we'll be coming back for another interesting package of the program. But until tomorrow, good night and have a good night.